The staff at Michigan seat is getting hot. Stein Ceiling is this month's topic. It's November 5th. I'm Braden Slater, your host of Hot Seat. Let's jump into our first topic for tonight. We got our latest conference realignment. I probably need to change that logo to the fall because it continues to heat up. Guess what? Army, surprising the media, they are now going to join the American Conference. So they're going out of independent and going to the American Conference. Keep in mind, yes, Navy is in that conference. And the big Army-Navy rivalry game will still be played at the end of the season, will not count as a conference game. And if those two teams are the best team in the American Conference, those two teams can play each other in the American Conference Championship game. Also, we still have no idea what the Pac-2 is going to do. Oregon State, Washington State, no idea. We're still waiting. Really, all the other four conferences, Power 5 conferences, all released their schedules for future years. Oregon State, Washington State still has no idea who they're going to play next year in any sport. Also, the SEC doesn't do wrestling. Oklahoma is like number one in wrestling. They're going to stay in the Big 12 for wrestling, just in wrestling. And then, like I already mentioned, some other conferences already released their future schedules. Well, the Big 12 released their schedule for football. And, let's take a look. They've only had 4 protected rivalries with the new schools coming in. We got Cincinnati, BYU, UCF, and Houston, this year. But we also have Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado next season. So, they're going to keep Baylor and TCU as a rivalry. They're going to bring in Arizona and Arizona State as a rivalry. BYU and Utah is going to become a rivalry. And they're going to keep Kansas and Kansas State as a rivalry. And here's the thing. There are so many Texas teams in the Big 12, but yet they only managed to keep Baylor and TCU. Well, they are losing Texas. But, I'm surprised Colorado or Iowa State, West Virginia, UCF, Oklahoma State, none of them have any big rivalries. They're all mixed up in with the rest of the schedule, so they're not going to have that same team they play every year. So the Big 12 just canceled tradition. Yep, you heard me. The Big 12 canceled tradition. And unless you're one of these teams listed right here, yeah, good luck enjoying tradition die. Alright, a little NFL right now. The Raiders have fired their head coach, Josh McDaniel. Who's going to step up and replace? I actually think the Raiders aren't really that bad this year. Well, I don't think they started too hot. They started, I think, fine. But then the last couple of weeks, it really wasn't that great. I'm pulling up the standings right now to figure out, let's see here. Oh, they're 3-5. Okay, yeah. But, again, I don't think they had that bad. They beat the Broncos their first game. Not bad. Oh, well, they did lose to the Bills. Yeah, they're good. To Pittsburgh. Okay. Yeah, as I'm looking over their schedule, yeah, I can see why they're firing him. Okay, retracted back to what I was really going to say. Yeah, I guess he deserved to be fired, but it's his second year there. But also, is it really his fault? It's his second year there. And, the thing is, when you're the head coach of the NFL, you don't have control over the players you have. That is the GM and the owner's job of getting players for you. Your job is to just coach them. He coached them as best as he could. Couldn't turn it around at all. So, my guess is, it's still not his fault. Yeah, I think it's the GM and owner's fault for not, I almost said recruiting, not trading and picking and drafting better players for them. Which, knowing how far they are in the NFL right now, they'll likely have a good pick in the NFL draft. So maybe it's a boost for him. Nope, they're like, all right, let's just go ahead and get him out of here. All right, and the Swifties record. Taylor Swift did not show up for the Chiefs game on Sunday. They end up losing. So, here's the overall record for the Chiefs. They are 6-2 with Taylor Swift. They're 4-0 without Swift. They're 2-2. Still not a losing record, but they have had one before without her. Yeah, beginning of the season. Yeah. What was it, the first 2 games that they won? They weren't there, and then she started going there like the third game, went a couple times, and then missed like 2 games, missed 1, 2, 3 weeks ago, and then this last week. But again, for some reason, when she's down there, I guess, at the game, the Chiefs are unstoppable. When she's not there, it's a game. The other team actually has a chance of winning the game. But when she is there, the officials are all against the opponent. The Chiefs' chance of winning is 100%. Yep, you heard me. It's 100% chance they're going to win the game if Taylor Swift down there. If not, it's anybody's ball game. Alright, back to college football. Yes, the CFP released their first ranking of the season on Tuesday night. Ohio State was number 1. Surprised me, surprised everyone. Do they deserve the number 1 spot? I've had the number 1 in my rankings all season long, except for this week. I had Florida State really grab my attention, and I did the switcheroo, and I really feel like I haven't seen it from Ohio State this year as I expect them to be. I mean, I kept them in their 1. They were still winning their game, but I just feel like it was time this late in the season. I mean, they did have their statewide win against Notre Dame, but I've seen more from Ohio State. I've seen more from Georgia. And just like the CFP agrees with me, Georgia is pretty much at 2. Here is the top 6, the college football playoff. Ohio State is at 1. Georgia's at 2. Michigan at 3. Florida State is at 4. And Washington and Oregon are the first 2 teams out. So, playoff talk now. Does Ohio State deserve the number 1 spot? Yes. Yeah, I think so. I really think if they put Georgia at 1, yeah, they deserve that 1 spot. Michigan at 1, yeah. Even though they're cheating, yeah. I mean, the NCAA is not going to do anything about it this year, so obviously they're the best team out there. Whether they're cheating or not, they deserve a 1 spot. Florida State, also, I think they deserve a 1 spot. But does Washington deserve a 1 spot? That's where I agree that Washington is at 5 because, they've struggled their last 2 weeks. They almost lost the last 2 weeks. We'll see. I mean, even though this show was is airing on a Sunday, it was recorded before all the Saturday games yesterday. And also, let's get on to, is Michigan stealing signs? Yeah, that's the topic of this month's episode. And the question is, yeah, it seems pretty likely. Every day, new material comes out, new evidence, new footage comes out that they're stealing signs. Yes, they're finding Connor on sidelines of other teams, Central Michigan. Hey, here's something hilarious. Central Michigan said, they're investigating mainly, particularly seeing Connor on their sideline. Yeah, I mean, they could easily just say, it was just an intern or someone that's low-leveled on their staff. But no, they're still investigating it, which makes it kind of funny and interesting thing. Is it actually him? I mean, there's footage, pictures, evidence of him all over the country, and even standing when Michigan's playing, standing next to the defensive coordinator. He says, I mean, who knows if people are lip reading it right. But, yeah, lip reading, what he tell the defensive coordinator, they get the stop. I mean, there's evidence where they got a big stop against Ohio State 2 years ago when when he was caught on camera. Big stop. And a lot of people were wondering, how did they read it? That play right? It's bizarre, and also, yeah, the rest of the Big Ten coaches are not happy about it, of the process, saying something needs to be done about this season and not in 3 years. Yeah. Alright, what coaches are on the hot seat this year in college football? I went over a few last month. Any changes this time? I think so. Some are still in. I got some new ones. Maybe some have made an improvement and dropped out. But I will say this. Dabo Swinney is on the hot seat. Ish. I mean, yeah, this is definitely Dabo Swinney's worst season he's ever had at Clemson. Now, here's the question. He's all about recruiting. He doesn't do transfer portal. But we'll see this offseason. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to get fired this offseason. He's not. I don't see it happening. But the question is, yeah, he needs to recruit better players, but also he needs to go to the transfer portal, get better players that will back us up, and also he needs to probably fix up his staff too, because I really don't think his staff. I mean, he's got some good quality players. I don't think that they're being coached very well, just like Dabo Swinney. Not Dabo Swinney, Jimbo Fisher. Just like Jimbo Fisher. Yeah, he is Dabo Swinney. But, yeah. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher and Dabo Swinney are kind of really both in the same mix right now. But one's doing all recruiting, one's all, yeah, they're all really, both all recruiting and all highly talented players. They're just not getting coached right. Alright, and our next coach, yeah, Dave. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. I know I'm going to say it wrong. Yeah, so, Baylor's head coach, yeah, once again, still on the hot seat. What are they, 3-5 right now, I believe? I could pull it up right now as I'm talking, but yeah, I think Baylor is 3-5. They really haven't had any good, statement win all season. Yeah, they're 3-5. They got a big one. Well, actually, I mean, it depends on how, I mean, again, this is recorded before all the games yesterday, but, yeah, they played Houston yesterday. Have no idea, if they won that game, then they're 4-5. If they lost, they're 3-6. They lose to Houston, yeah, he is on the hot seat, and now the question is, he took Baylor to the Big 12 championship game 2 years ago. Yeah, against Oklahoma State. Now, I would say the same thing about Oklahoma State, but Mike Gundy has turned this season around. It took him longer than probably most people thought it was, but he turned Oklahoma State around. Baylor hasn't looked impressive at all this year. Baylor might be the worst team in the Big 12, along with Cincinnati and Houston. Sam Pittman, wow, are the Arkansas terrible? I forgot the name for that. Wow, is Arkansas terrible this year? Sam Pittman went from really good, almost at the top. If you don't include Georgia and Alabama, they're at the top of the SEC. You know, getting all their wins and then losing to, the powerhouse. But they're up there, but not this year. For some reason, Arkansas wasn't even that bad last year. They were good last year. They had a little downfall at the end of the season, but they were good. What happened to Arkansas this year? I do not know. They were ranked at one point last year. What happened? Also, yeah, USC almost had a 3-game losing streak. Yeah, they only won by 1 point 2 weeks ago. They had Washington yesterday. Again, still don't know that result because, again, it recorded before that game. But Lincoln Riley has, if you look at Lincoln Riley's overall record compared to their old head coach, it's nearly identical. In fact, the old head coach has some positive things going in some areas. So in other terms, as of where Lincoln Riley is right now compared to where their old coach was at this point in his career, Lincoln Riley is a downgrade. And I'm sure Oklahoma fans are glad to hear about that. Yeah, Lincoln Riley is a downgrade for USC. It's his second year. He's all about the transport portal. He really doesn't do much recruiting. But he's got to fix that defense. Got to fire Alex Grinch. If he wants to get out of the hot seat, he's got to fire Alex Grinch. Fix his defense. And then, we have the 12-team playoff next year. As of right now, this is what the 12-team playoff would look like next year. And if the season ended today, this is what it would look like. Yeah, Tulane playing Michigan. And that's a good game. I have a feeling Michigan win that game. But it would be a good game. Oklahoma and Alabama. That will be a great game. Penn State and Oregon, future Big Ten game. Oh yeah, and also Oklahoma and Alabama, future SEC game. Ole Miss and Texas, another future SEC game. And then Washington, Ohio State, Florida State, and Georgia all get byes. And Missouri and Louisville are the last two in. But here's the question. I think Missouri deserves a playoff spot. Maybe not anymore. It's very obvious Georgia beat them yesterday. But if they won, put them in! Put them in! But yeah, well, I love this. I can't wait. And, I hope that, they're kind of they said they're putting it on pause for now, because they're waiting to see what the Pac-12 does. But I just hope we have this next year. That looks amazing. I can't wait. And the first round are all home games. Yeah, the higher seed are at home. All right. Let's go around the network. Slate Report Podcast every Monday at 6. Yeah. And then Tuesday, recapping your full college football week. Everything that happened yesterday. Tuesday at 6. And then the new CFP ranking will be out Tuesday night. And at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, I'll get you all my reaction and hopefully some bowl predictions. And bowl predictions and bowl game predictions. That's clever. And then NBA and college basketball is underway Wednesday night. So I'll have a show for you talking about those games. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, etc. That's all going around the network here on Busy Sports. That's all the time we have today here on Hot Seat. Thank y'all for watching. Yeah, I'll be here to discuss, next episode of December. That's when really football coaches get fired. So, we'll really learn who's on the hot seat on December 3rd. That's going to be a good episode. See you guys next time.